Hello, beep, 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 beep. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this thing that we like to call Northern News Now Plus on the Northern News Now app. I'm your host, Matt Rasmussen, local filmmaker slash morning show director slash king of Halloween. Let me take this mask off. This is a little distracting here. All right, I was going to do the whole episode like that, but I can't really see anything. Anyway, hello, good morning, everybody. I'm here to recap your box office numbers and talk a little bit about my flick of the week. Give me just a second here. There, that's better. We got to have Venom in there. Let's see. So, how do we begin here? Happy first day of fall, everybody. That's kind of a gigantic thing. And it is Spider-Man for my flick of the week. There we are, the original Spider-Man trilogy, which all of them were directed by Sam Raimi, horror vet himself. He did the original Evil Dead trilogy as well. There's also a fun little Bruce Campbell cameo in all three of those movies. Tobey Maguire stars as Spider-Man in all of these movies. Amazing, amazing movies. Here's the question I pose, though. Why is Spider-Man back in theaters? It doesn't seem to make sense to me. I tried to figure it out. It doesn't make sense. There's no anniversary. Normally a re-release coincides with an anniversary or an upcoming event, or like the director wanted it to be in theaters for, to promote something he's doing. None of that. None of that. These movies came out in 2002, 2004, 2007, so it's not an anniversary year. They were all released in the summer, like May, so don't understand why September, the end of September, they're re-releasing all three of the Spider-Man movies. Whatever, it's fine. I won't complain about it. I'll probably go see him if the chance arises. We'll talk a little bit more about Spider-Man in a little bit, but first I must recap the box office numbers in case you were just dying to know what the top 5 spots were. Let's take a look. Okay, so first of all, let's see, what is this? Is this even the right one? Hold on just a second here. Let's restart. There we are. Okay. This is the right video. So, number 5, The Long Walk made $6.3 million, tying with 4th place. Next, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, shared the number 4 slot, adding $6.3 million to its coffers. The Conjuring Last Rites, one of my faves, dropped 1 spot to 3rd place, scaring up $13 million. Still not bad. Then, the new fright flick, the football fright flick, Him, debuted in 2nd place, scoring with $13.5 million. Then lastly, the Japanese anime adventure Demon Slayer, the movie, Infinity Castle, remained in the top spot, earning $17.3 million for a domestic total of $105 million. So, this is great, but the video I want to talk about isn't in here, so we'll go back to cam. Zoonk. There we are. So, let's talk a little bit about Spider-Man. Again, why is Spider-Man back in theaters? I don't know, but starting this week, I believe on Friday, you'll be able to catch them nationwide. All 3 are screening at different dates and times, so you won't be able to just marathon them all, but you can buy like a fast pass that will allow you to see all 3 movies for like one cheap price, so that's kind of cool. The real fun bonus about these movies coming back is it's the first time ever that they're showing Spider-Man 2.1 on the big screen. That's the extended, extra super best ever edition of Spider-Man 2 with all those extra scenes. You see J. Jonah Jameson running around in the Spider-Man suit, jumping on stuff, all kinds of silly extra things that were cut out and were later restored many years later. Those will be intact and on the big screen for the first time. So that's kind of cool. So if you've always wanted to see Spider-Man 2.1, one of my buddies actually said, wow, I really want to go see that one. So go and catch it if you get the chance. Anyway, the Spider-Man movies are my favorite superhero movies, period. I always found Spider-Man fascinating. I found him horrifying as a child because I just saw his face. and I didn't know the story. I didn't know what he was about, didn't know he was a superhero. So, yeah, I always found him scary. So then once I started to figure out who he was and what he was all about and why he looked so terrifying, that was just fascinating to me. And then it kind of demystified how terrifying he looked. And then he quickly became my favorite, even though I hadn't seen any Spider-Man related thing for a while. It wasn't until the animated series came out in '94, but I wasn't able to catch any episodes of it for the longest time. I caught one or two on cable. We didn't have cable growing up. If I was staying over at a buddy's house, I'd get to see them. But it was mainly the Spider-Man merch that I gravitated to help promote the animated series, and that's what a lot of this stuff is here. A lot of these are my original toys from back in the day. And I always wanted to collect a bunch of cool Spider-Man stuff. And so he's been my favorite superhero always. So when they announced that Spider-Man was going to get his first ever big screen adaptation, that was a huge deal. I still remember that day, 2002. I was there opening night to see Spider-Man on the big screen. I had been waiting so long as a kid, and there were many different false starts and so forth. And at one point, James Cameron was involved, and at another point, Michael Jackson was involved, and nothing worked. And I don't know, they just had to start all over from scratch. And then they were like, you know who would be good to do this Spider-Man movie? Not the King of Pop. Let's get the king of horror movies, Sam Raimi, who has done Evil Dead. Let's get him to do these movies. I still don't quite understand that choice, but that was the correct choice, my friends. Like, he brought it. Sam Raimi brought it. He had, a different kind of vision than, like, James Cameron kind of talked about what he was going to do with the property. And, that would have been interesting to see in some alternate world, but there's no replacing those original 3 Spider-Man movies. Just fantastic. All the way around, good movies. I know a lot of people have qualms with the third one. Yes, people have qualms with the third one. I don't mind it. Of course, there are issues with it. Yes, Venom was the big issue with the third one, for those of you who have seen it. Do you want me to recap the franchise? Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man exists. Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man exists. Okay, the third one, now Venom shows up. And here's the problem here. Venom was never supposed to show up in Spider-Man 3. That was not the plan that Sam Raimi had. It was the studio who decided that Venom needed to happen. And I do believe that Sam Raimi already kind of had his outline laid out. He wanted to use Sandman. He wanted to use the new Goblin, which do we really need the Goblin again for the third time? There's a lot of villains. Let's bring some new villains in, because they used him a little bit in the second movie, and I really don't think they needed to do the whole Goblin thing again for the third one. But Sam Raimi did not want to do Venom. He had other ideas, and the studio was like, no, he's like the most popular thing, and I get it. From their standpoint, I get it. It was a good way to market the movie because that got everyone excited. Like, all the marketing materials were Spider-Man in his black suit, and Venom is going to show up, and like that was all it was. And then you go to see the movie, and there's all this other stuff happening, and the whole Venom storyline seemed forced, as it was. It was very forced, and it would have been great to have gotten a full-on Venom storyline where he didn't have to share the space with all these other villains. 3 villains in one superhero movie is a lot. It's a lot to juggle, because Spider-Man had only had 1 villain prior, and it was good. Even Batman had a tough time juggling 3 villains. If you look at like Batman and Robin, that was a choice. They did it well in The Batman, though, so that's interesting to note. But anyway, I would have liked to seen a better take on Venom, and a different actor play him as well. I think when Tom Hardy played him in the new Venom solo spin-off trilogy, that was good. I liked his portrayal of Venom, because they're trying to show him as an anti-hero, and he's a good guy, but, you know, the whole anti-hero thing. I liked it. I liked his take on it. Not necessarily what the studio was doing with Venom. I thought the third Venom, they should have done a lot of better stuff with it, bringing in symbiotes that we know and love. There were a lot of symbiotes out there in the comics that they didn't touch. And the big disappointing thing was at the end of Venom 2, they're hinting at, oh, this is going to connect with the new Tom Holland universe, and it didn't, because I don't know, something went on behind the scenes, and they painted themselves in a corner, but then they backpedaled on the whole thing and then went in a different direction for Venom 3, and it was far more underwhelming than we would have expected for a Venom 3. Anyway, I'm rambling about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's great. The question I posed for everybody this morning on the morning show was, who is your favorite Spider-Man character and or villain? Everyone basically said Spider-Man is their favorite character, but I wanted to know more about the villains. And Brendan liked Venom, and I believe Sydney said that she liked the OG's Green Goblin. So those are very good villains, and many more villains left to be brought into the Spider-Man universe in this new MCU universe. We have yet to see the Scorpion. I know they've been hinting at him since the first MCU Spider-Man movie. Yeah, we did see the Shocker a little bit, and a little bit of the Rhino, and, all these other characters. I'd like to see Hobgoblin. I know we're doing more Goblin stuff. I'd like to see Hobgoblin. I'd like to see, what other amazing characters? Just the symbiotes. Go crazy with the symbiotes. I want to see more of that. That was always the best scary thing that they could bring to us. So, let's see, are we past 10 minutes already? I might have to go to break here. A lot more to talk about. I think we're going to wrap up the Spider-Man talk for now. There's a lot more to discuss in just a minute. I'll toss to break, and then we'll recap. We'll talk a little bit about spooky season. We'll talk about Northern Life. We'll talk about my weekend, and we'll talk about some upcoming projects. So, stay tuned. I'll be back in just a second.